Alright, in the previous step we learned what is the override in C# Unity. But in this step we want to learn what is the interface and how we can use interfaces in our C# code. For example, if you have worked with Photoshop or website or video editing softwares, they have a definition which is called template. For example, you want to edit several images with the same design or the same visual. So you will make a template and then you will change the content of those images. But the template and the structure of that image or video is the same. For C# code, we will use interface as a template of the code. For example, a soldier in the game has some common statistics. For example, health, score, I don't know, position, weapon, or anything. So these functions and statistics are the same for every soldier which we want to implement in our scene. But sometimes these features and statistics are more than we can remember them every time. So we will make public interface as a template for everywhere we want to use soldier class, for example. For using interface, we should have I soldier. Without I, it doesn't work. Okay. Inside the I soldier, we have a function which called void health. Okay? With this structure. So everywhere we want to implement a class which has some comments of soldier, so we will call this interface, and we need to observe these kinds of variables or functions inside that script. For example, we have another function void ammo and also void score, right? Okay, let's go to interface example. This is our C# code which we want to use that interface, or in the common way, in that template. Okay, we can, after definition of our class, for example, this is the mono behavior. It can be in inheritance, and we can have another name instead of mono behavior, the parent name of that script. But here we have mono behavior, so we will add a comma, and we will say, what was the name of that? I soldier. But it says, okay, you need to implement those functions you have defined in this iSoldier interface. We need to define one by one of these functions. It is mandatory. Without them, our code won't work. So we need to say void, what was the name? Health, ammo, score. Health, okay. And another one, copy, paste, ammo, and another one, score. Do we need anything else? I don't think so. Health. And shall we check the here? Ah, I see, through the new system. Yeah, let's implement interface automatically by clicking this guy. Hover your mouse on the bug and click on this light and implement interface. Look at this. Now it is correct, and we can remove these parts and add our logics inside these functions. Okay, this is easy. So we can define another interface here. For example, public interface weapon, right? And which has T. I don't know. Gun type, right? It can be anything. Alright, sorry for technical problem. Here we can define this guy. This T can be our local variable for our function. It can be integer, float, or any kind of variable here. And we have a function called gun type, for example. And here we can see the T is gun for example. Okay, so this function is for this interface for those functions which don't have local variable, and this structure is for those functions which have local variable. Let's come back to our code and add what was the name? iWeapon. Right, iWeapon. And here we need to say the kind of it is integer. Right, and let's implement automatic. Look at this. We have a function gun type and integer as far as we have defined here, and gun ammo here as far as we defined the name of the variable here. Excellent. So the question is why we should use interfaces whenever we can inheritance from the parent class. It is clear that in the C# code we can just be the child of one class, only one class, or it can be any class, but only one. But with interfaces we can use several interfaces here at the same time. Even those interfaces are not related together. For example, the iSoldier has different functions, health, ammo, score, and weapon is different, but if we want to have these functions, all of them, in one class, then use inheritance in our C# code, it won't be honestly makes sense to have one class with several functions. And also you can use only one interface without having other functions. For example, if we have one class with all of these functions, and if we want to use inheritance, so it will be mandatory for having all of these functions or variables in our script, and it's consuming the performance honestly. But with interface we can use those functions we need for our script. Okay, let's go to the next step.